Okay, so I have the tone holes kind of in the right ballpark. I think I have enough meat on the tone hole to file them flat. With a repair like this, it's going to be really tricky to get them to where you take off no metal. You can solve that by using a softer pad, but I'm going to use the pads that I have, which are moderately firm. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my Dremel tool to take off all this stuff around the solder points. And what I'm going to use is one of these guys, which is a black. It's a black. I think. What are these? What are these? Look at that. Look at the shop. Dirty shop. It's a knife. These are fine. These are medium, and they're these. They're like a universal silicone rubber polishers. They work pretty well. They're not terribly aggressive, but they're not. It doesn't take you forever. And I'm gonna use the knife one, which is that one, and then I have blade versions, squared versions of the same thing. I'm going to finish with the blue version, which is finer. And then once I get done with that, I'm going to go over it with this guy. Maybe replace the replace the abrasive, which is going to give it the satin finish, and then do some color work. And I'll show you that once I get that. But let me turn you around, and I get working on this, so you can see kind of. Can't really see, but maybe I'll build a fixture like Blondie Hacks. Gotta get my Dremel. And I have this. This is I don't remember what grit that is. It's a flap wheel, a little tiny flap wheel, and I need a wrench. And I have all my tools separated in these little bins. These bins that I got at Harbor Freight. They're decent. They do the job. They're not terribly expensive, which is good for my shop. And I put little labels on them. So we're gonna put that back in there. Put the knife blade in. Now I'm just cleaning up the areas around the, I cleaned them up a bit last night with the scrapers and things like that. It's nice because they get right in there. So you can look like a pro. And what I do is I put the knife edge right against the where it is, right if the and then I can feather it out from there, so you can't see a big solder thing. And because now I'm thinking about it, because I'm going to give this a finish, I don't think I use the fine wheel. Careful not to get it on the tone hole. And I'm gonna flash all these tone holes again anyway. Get them so that they're nice and flat and polished. Right. Now I'll do the body. And this one's got, so what I did is, like on this one, I took off most of the edge stuff, the little spillovers, with a scraper last night. And you can get close, but then this just kind of brings it home. This goes up on here on the mandrel. Ooh, 3D, yeah. I should be wearing a respirator, but I'm not. Just gives you that nice, clean, professional look. It's smooth. This does kick up a good bit of dust. That's kind of a thing to look out for. I wouldn't be too worried about the grit on this is the medium polishing wheel, but it's a medium polishing wheel, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's not like it's a sanding wheel or a... And from this company, from Dedico, you can get these from Rio Jewelry Supply, jewelry tools and stuff like that, or Rio. And they have like a sampler. I got that one first. But the only ones you really need, they have a bunch of different grits, and the only ones you're really going to need are the black ones and the blue ones. And I have done this with just the scrapers, and it just doesn't give you that nice finish that this does. A Dremel is your friend. It's hard to kind of get around with all the springs sometimes. And the springs are on the posts. And kind of, if you do scrape it a little bit, what it'll do is it'll kind of polish out those little tool marks. That happens. It's gonna be hard getting right here next to the tone hole. Just remember that there's not going to be a whole lot of look-seeing going on back in there either. Still, I want to do a good job. Yeah, these do get smaller quickly, so that's why you buy them by the bag. I'm going to switch to the blade type because I've got some real estate to cover. And if you've never used a Dremel before, notice that these arbors do come in different sizes. They come in different diameters, so be careful that the quick way to do it is to have all the tools that you're going to use, the discs, in like relation to each other, like the blade and the knife are on the same size arbor, so you don't have to, they do have collets, different size collets that you can change, but it just makes it easier to switch tools. You know what I mean? And what I'm doing here is I'm just cleaning up the solder. There was some solder, and when I was doing this, there was quite a bit of heat, so any lacquer properties were kind of lost. So this, you can see a little bit of the tool marks, so that's going to come out when I texturize it. You can't even feel those tool marks. You can see them, but you can't feel them. See, like now, I'll go do some more knife work. Out with that, in with the knife. I don't know how to change that collet. Easy peasy. Okay. See, now with this one, this is a lot thinner. This one is a lot thinner arbor than this one is, so I have to change collets. Take my wrench. I were smart, I would have bought all the same size arbor, but I was not that smart. I think that's the right size. That's not the right size. Yeah, it's not the right size. Now what this is just an arbor with some Scotch-Brite. I cut little squares, of, 2 squares of Scotch-Brite, and put it in between that with some brass washers. That helps. Just gonna swing it out with this tool might. See how long these. The problem with this, with using it like this, is it polishes a little bit. I don't really want the polish. I just want to take off the stains. And I'm gonna have to make a new one. This is getting worn. So look for it in the next episode.